Guys, welcome back. Just don't mind that individual back there. He's doing maintenance. Anyway, it's been a little while, like it normally is, and I'm just going to show you an update of my plants and then what I have planned outside if I don't freeze to death, and we'll get that done too. All right, so this is what everything is looking like so far. This tray has mostly stuff that I can put out now, with the exception of the herbs. None of the ones that are perennial type herbs made it, so none of these can go out. So I have basil, cilantro, parsley, and then another variety of basil, and then the rest are like your brassicas and things like that that I can go ahead and put outside and give them more space because they desperately need it. All the other things that I have going on, these guys down here are the pansies that we've been working on since last year. They are in sweet peas that are growing their heads off right now too, which I think I might be able to go ahead and start putting those out as well. I'm not 100% sure, but well, I'll have to double check. Our temperatures right now, I'm in zone 8A. I think they kind of upgraded us to 8B. And the temperatures are kind of at night are in the 30s, 40s, and then it kind of reaches 50s, but it's mostly staying closer to the 30-degree zone. But this week is supposed to get a little bit warmer with it being up in the 50s, 60s-ish. I don't know what the next week's is going to look like, but my last frost day is typically in like the first week of April. So we're getting really close to having more steady warmer, not warm, but warmer temperatures. So I have all of those. So pansies and the sweet potatoes. I do have other things that I'm going to start eventually, which are sweet potato. I said sweet potatoes. So sweet peas, and then I have sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, which I think these are the Yukon Gold. I have some strawberries, and then down here I have a couple of peonies, which I know that the first couple of years or so you kind of don't want to keep if you're a flower farmer and you don't want to keep the flowers, but mine isn't anything for a whole lot of cutting, so I may just snip them off. If I get any flowers, I may cut them off. I'm not really sure. I kind of just want to see what they look like. But then maybe after that, I'll just keep cutting them off until we can get better production. These right here are marigolds of the dwarf version, and then my tomatoes, which are pretty much done because I had them last year just as an experiment. They did produce, just not as often as I would have liked to be able to have an actual good harvest for like a meal. I just tried topping them to see if maybe I can get these guys to grow, but I think it's just tattered and just its lifespan is just done. I'm going to take you guys out so you can see what I have going on back there, and then I'll get to work and start getting all the things done so I can get these out in the garden. All right, welcome back. I have kind of a surprise today. I've got 3 boxes that we just made. We have 1 more to make, and I'll make a video of how we basically made each of the boxes. And I can show you a little bit more too, but they are, I believe they're 3 by 8 for all 3 boxes. We used 10-inch. I think the actual wood itself was 8 feet by 10 feet. I think they're like 2 inches thick. So yeah, so we just cut them in half for the end pieces. And how many boards did we use? I'm gonna say you could probably do easier math if you did instead of doing it by threes, like 3 feet. You could probably do like 4 feet by 8 feet, and that would be a little bit more of a perfect. It's a perfect square in the sense that it does 12 inches, obviously, because it's 3 feet. But as far as math wise, you'd have an extra board instead of like doing 4 feet, which means they would be a little bit better in math wise because the ends would be an extra foot and you wouldn't have any waste. But we only had like a foot waste or something like that for 1 board. So I think it I think it all cost maybe $97 for everything because we already had the screws and all of our regular equipment that we normally use. And I'm basically it's just getting all the soil prepped into these beds. And I might do a little bit of planting with some of the stuff I already have and maybe clearing out some of the other boxes that need to kind of get a clean slate to get started. So I do have some of these soils right here. So I have topsoil, the
Star Green and the Happy Frog, and I believe there might be some Cocoa Core. So they're all evenly distributed between the boxes. We moved them so I didn't have to walk into one location. I can just grab what I need for each box that are around it. And I'm going to try and spread them out as evenly as I can for each box. So today is like the only day that I think I can get it done this week because it is not raining right now. It's raining all morning. It's late, kind of later in the afternoon, around 3 or 4 o'clock, and I am going to try and get all of this done and then clean up as much as I can afterwards. And there's a lot of weeding I have to do too. So let's just get started. Down here, just to show you, this one over here is full more than the others just because of the simple fact that I put both Happy Frogs and the Cocoa Core in that one, and these two do not have that yet. So I'm going to have to get more of that. And then if anyone can give me suggestions on what I can put around these boxes, because as you can see, we do have very clay soil and it becomes a mudslide once it rains for a little bit. I'm thinking between mulch. I'm not a really big fan of gravel, but that could be an option if it's something really, really helpful to keep these areas nice, clean, and dry. I'm not really big on wanting to put landscape fabric down and then laying something on top, so I would want whatever suggestions to be the kind of like the only material that I use on there. So like if it was rocks, it would be a pain, I think, if I didn't use landscape fabric. So rocks may be kind of out of the question. Something that's easy to maintain. I know some people like living pathways, like just leaving it like it is, maybe getting grass to grow in between. But as you can tell, my whole backyard is kind of hard to get grass to grow back here. We're hoping that we can retool the whole area so that we can get grass. Most of this right here is clovers, which we also have in our front yard as well. But once the summer starts to kick in, the clover kind of disappears because it doesn't really like it to be too hot back here. But we'll see what we can do to get it in shape. It's taking a long process, a couple of unsuccessful attempts. Thought maybe our solution in 1 year, but I'm thinking a cool grass like fescue or something, Kentucky blue or something maybe would be the best option. Kind of like a mix between Fesca and Kentucky blue, I think would be a really good mix. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. I've been doing my research trying to figure it all out, but it's taking a while to get to the right solution to get grass back here. And then if I take you over here, this is where I seeded all those different types of veggies. So we have 2 rows, one on each side of the lettuce that's in the middle. So I have spinach, and then lettuce. And then on the very ends, I have peas growing. So I think they're both a snap type of pea. I'll have to look at what I have inside, but they're the only two that I used. Same thing as last year. So they're ones that you can eat with the pods, or you can shell them and then eat them that way as well. So I am beat. I'm going to go inside and take a shower. My carrots are mostly not up because when I did put them down, I don't know, they just did not, they did not do well with germinating, and that may be my fault. I may have to reseed them again. My garlic is doing pretty good, but we've had a few of the bunnies and whatever other type of furry little animals keep coming back here and digging them up, and I think they don't like them because then they leave them exposed and I have to keep covering them back up. But that is it, friends. I am completely pooped now. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. I am finally going to put out the, I guess, maybe it was the last time. I'm not sure if I posted that or not. I don't know, but you'll see it somewhere in one of the videos. But I have some brassicas and things like that, onions, whatever, whatnot, that needs to actually go out into the garden. I did have some garden boxes that are out there, which you'll also see probably in the beginning of this video. So I'm going to do that before it starts raining, because we have a few days of rain. It keeps going back and forth. It was supposed to rain, I think it rained Friday, which it wasn't supposed to rain Friday, but it rained all day Friday. And then Saturday, I think it rained Saturday too. So yesterday was kind of like so part of Saturday and yesterday I got to do some work on the garden a little bit, trying to clean up, and I'll show you that as well. But I am trying to go ahead and get these out there because I need it really bad, and I need the space to start some of my warm season crops like tomatoes and peppers and things like that, which I have not done. I told myself I was gonna wait to try not to start them so early, because I do that every year. I started them really early, and this time I am basically on target because I need at least a few weeks. My last frost date I think is the first week of April, like April 3rd or something like that. So we're doing pretty good. It is kind of like 4 weeks exactly today or yesterday that I need to go ahead and get started on those. And I'll show you kind of some of the stuff that I've already done that's a little bit different, and let me get to that and I'll turn you guys around. Ignore the junk as always. This is the tray that I was talking about. It has a mixture of plants in here. Most of them are brassica types and a few herbs in the front row. So I'm going to put all of these out. There's some spinach. I don't think there's any kale. There's spinach, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts I think there are. There may be a cabbage in here somewhere. I'm not 100% sure. I have the lid right here, so let me double check on all of them. So I do have basil, cilantro, oregano, rosemary, and another type of basil. One's a red, one's a green basil. The rosemary and the oregano did not really come up, so I'll probably have to try starting those again, because whenever I do them in here inside and I try and mix them up together like this, they don't do so well. So I always try and encourage everyone, don't do like I'm doing, but I try and encourage everyone, if you have enough trays, because I don't have a lot of trays. I have these 2 trays and several larger containers to pot up. I don't really want to buy a whole lot of plastic, so I try to make do with what I have on hand, and buying, like when I buy flowers from the store, repurposing those and using those as many times as I can before I have to toss them out. But if you can, start your items, whatever you're going to grow, whatever plants you're going to grow, make them all the same. So if they're going to be lettuce, do all the same type of lettuce. Like, it doesn't have to be the same brand, like, I don't know, iceberg. I'm sure there's other types of tight balled lettuce that you can get. Plant all of those. If they have a similar growing habit, plant them together. So if they're tomatoes, even if they're different type of tomatoes, they usually come up the same until they start branching out to their true shape and size. Start those similar ones first, like all in the same tray, because when you mix them up like this, they all have different habits, different when they're going to actually sprout, when they're going to germinate. All those things are different, and it can make it challenging keeping them nice and tidy in the tray. And then they all kind of have to go out at different times. So these cannot go out yet, so the herbs can't go out yet, but everything else can. So it makes them look straggly because you're not able to handle them in the same way, water them the same way. So definitely it's a good idea to have them all similar like type items in the same tray. My issue is that this is a 24 cell tray, but they're not small. Like if I had 4 or 6 cells, that would be a lot better than having one whole 24 cell tray. But if you're a small gardener like me, getting the small packs of like 4 or 6, if you can find something like that with the little domes on top, would be a lot better, because then you can manage having 24 plants or 24 different types of plants, but they all have their own little grouped units, and that will make it a lot better for you to manage them when they need to go out on time, and watering as well. So let me go ahead and take you outside so that I can show you what I've done so far. So I did just clean this area up right here and got a lot of those weeds and things that are in there so I can get started on planting when that time comes. And then right here, the boxes are still just like they were. I did clean up this area over here a little bit more. Hopefully you can hear me because I don't have my mic on. I just decided to come out here at the last minute. And let's see. Then we have this over here. I did finally took out the broccoli that was bolting and things like that. And then I'm gonna look to see about the cabbage. They're growing really slow, so I might just pull them because I have fresh stuff that I can put in, and then they should start taking off pretty quickly after that. There is this broccoli that I do want to leave in there. Maybe it'll catch up or not, I'm not sure. And then I have this one right here as well, which I think might be a cauliflower, and we'll see if that works. And then that's a cabbage as well, but I might just rip everything up and start fresh, just because they're tired probably and they're going really slow. But maybe if it warms up a little bit, then they might take off. We'll see. And then I did one other thing. I did have a lot of different types of hyacinths and plants that were in the ground, and so I put them in those 2 containers over there. And then the Globemaster, or the similar to a Globemaster, I put them, if you can see in that back corner, my buckets are really tiny. I put them back there in those tiny little buckets. And we'll see if we get anything. There are in a little bit more shady area than typically, but who knows, they might do pretty well out there. All right, I'm gonna set everything up and get started with planting my onions and everything like that in their designated spots. Here we go. All right, so I have onions that I'm gonna put in between like the carrots and the garlic. I have no idea if that's a good idea or not, but that's what I'm gonna go with, because they're a similar type of crop for the garlic, and they're all kind of root crops in a sense, I guess. You know, they grow underneath. So I'm just gonna put them right there. The Brussels sprouts and all those stalky type plants I'm gonna put over into the bed on the right. They look pretty good. It's my first time successfully growing onions, so that's nice. to come back and label them, which I do have labels and I remember what everyone looks like. Everything is still the same in there. Onions are in. Took out some of the things to make room for other things, and we are good to go. All right, so we're all done. I need to go and wash my hands because they're so gross right now. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.